All right, so if I click this right now, you're going to hear Autotune. If you were in my position, you would hear Autotune. However, you're going to hear my original vocal plus the Autotune vocal. If you yourself, when you do this, if you hear Autotune and your original vocal, and it sounds like a chorus effect, you're doing it improperly. You need to go into your settings, watch my free real-time Autotune tutorial for the 500 millionth time. I just keep saying that. And it will show you how you turn your original vocal down, because all you want to hear is Autotune. All right? That's all you want to hear. You don't want to hear the original vocal. But for the tutorial, you're going to hear Autotune and my original vocal, and it might not sound all that spectacular, but to yourself, it sounds spectacular because of the Autotune effect. And that's all you would hear. Now, to actually check to see if G minor is the key, the correct key, because that's what Mixmeister, the other program that scanned the instrumental, told me. G minor is written on my piece of paper, let's say. What I'm going to do is, I just hum or do some la-la-lying to the actual instrumental. I just do some freestyling. I might just say some stuff and see how it sounds. And if at any point anything I'm saying goes off key, I know that that is not the proper key of the instrumental. And actually, most of the time I can hear it. I'm just doing this for example, but most of the time I can hear instrumental and say, hey, that's, B major or whatever. But some of you don't know how to do that, so you can actually still use your ears to find out if this is the correct key by doing what I'm going to show you right now. And you have to bear with me. It's going to be kind of retarded, but we do crazy things like this, and you know what I'm saying, when we're coming up with stuff and we're trying to find this kind of stuff out. All right, so here we go. La 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 la. La, la, la. Okay, it's going all off key, you know what I'm saying? So G minor is not the proper key. I can tell you that right now. From what I was hearing, it was going way off. So next thing you would do is you would try, what do you have written on your piece of paper? You have, I believe it was A sharp major. So let's go to our major scale. Let's go see A sharp. As you can see, it goes A flat, right? That's not correct. Where's the A sharp? If you don't see an A sharp is really B flat. So there we go. This would be the one that we would try next, because that was the inharmonic equivalent. So what I would do is I'd do the same thing. I'm not going to la again, okay? Because I don't want to waste no time. You do the same thing, and if it sounds off, we would know that that's not the right one, right? So I know I've already experimented, and let's just say if I was you, I experimented and I found out that's not it. So then I would try, what were my next choices? I had D minor. I'd do some experimentation like that. And then I have the next one, which was, I believe it was C minor. Okay, so here's the deal. Let's say none of them sound right. Or maybe one of them sounds close, and then there's just this one little pitch that goes off. Well, that's when you got to start doing another technique. There's another method for this, all right? Naturally, I'm going to go ahead and pause this tutorial and come back in, and then I'll tell you the other technique. Let's say if this is not working for you, all right? Well, I'll just continue with this one. What you could do is do the la method, right, and just sing some random stuff and cycle through each minor, and it's going to take time, all right? And you cycle through each one, and then on a piece of paper, you write the one that sounds like it's in key. You might have two. You're going to have two that sound like it's in key because of the inharmonic equivalent, all right? So you're going to end up with two, maybe three, because one of them you thought sounded like it was it, and then you'll end up having three, and then you'll have to choose between those three which one is the closest, and then you might end up with two, and then those two are usually, all the time, those two are going to sound exactly almost alike because they're inharmonic equivalents, all right? They're the same keys on the keyboard pretty much. There's just one's a minor and one's a major. So you'll end up with a major and a minor that sounds really good when you're doing your little la, right? And you're just singing random stuff. Or you could actually sing words, all right? I was just doing random stuff. So, yes, it will take time to actually do that. A quicker method is to do what I'm about to show you right now. The next thing you could do, or the other thing you could do, is listen to the instrumental and just sing something, all right? Sing along with the instrumental, because usually, you know, and this doesn't go for everybody because some people will still be way off and not even know it. But if you're listening to an instrumental and you're singing and it sounds good when you're singing it, you'll be able to tell because you'll be listening to your own self inside your own body, you know, inside your own head, and you'll hopefully hear that you're going off, and you'll be like, you know, that doesn't work. So sing something that sounds like it's on. Sing something that sounds like it's on key. It could be one vocal riff. It could be one bar, whatever. It could be just some random la-la line, but as long as it sounds like it's on point and doesn't sound off, you'll know if you go off. Again, that's the hopefully you will know. Hopefully you'll know if you go off, and I'm just going to say that you will know. You will know when you go off, and don't record that. Record something that sounds like it's on or in key. Now, then after you record whatever you might have recorded, let's say if you record it right here, and you turn off the Autotune, turn off all the effects, just record something that sounds like it's in key with the instrumental. It's just a natural phenomenon. We can tell if something's off, if it don't sound like it. You don't even need musical theory to do that. It's just something you hear, okay? It's a feeling that you feel. I'm not going to get into all that aesthetics of how that works, all right? But we naturally can hear if something's off key. You'll just be like, you know, that don't sound right. Something ain't right. Something's off, all right? But the trick is, can you, with inside your head, hear that it's off? Because some people think they're the best singers and they're singing totally off key, and, you know, they just aren't that great. They're not trained vocalists. So the other method would be to, again, sing something that sounds like it's in key to yourself, and then after you record that, make sure you record that little vocal line, throw on the Autotune, and instead of you having to, here's where you've already set yourself up for success. You've already set yourself up for success, because when you play it back, listen to it, because, again, you're inside your head, right? So maybe you might be going off key, you just don't know it. Maybe you don't know your voice that well. And as you're singing or whatever, after you record it right here, listen back. Play it back and listen to it and say, okay, yeah, that sounds like it sounds good with the instrumental already. Sure, it's a little pitchy. It doesn't sound like it's spot on as far as, like, I might have some pitch drift going on. You know, when I slide from one note to the next, it's not, it might be like not an in key, I guess you could call it, shift. You're not doing proper note shifting. And it might, you know, okay, it's not the best vocal take in the damn world, right? You might have some pitch issues, because maybe you do. Anyway, so don't worry about that. As long as it sounds like it's somewhat in key and sounds good, all right? Now, again, you've already set yourself up for success, because when you cycle, as you're playing it, set a loop. Like, say, if I recorded my vocal right here, I'll set my loop here, and I'll turn looping on, and I'll just hit the play button, or my space bar button, and it'll continue playing, and I will sit here and listen to it and cycle through my keys. I'll start in major, cycle through those until I'll listen to a full. So it's going to take a couple of listens, all right? It might take, 1, 2, 3, however many there are here, times 2, because there's a major and a minor, before I actually find something. Now, when you find something and you're listening and it sounds like, oh man, that sounds even more in key. It sounds like it's correcting it just right. All right. Now it's still going to sound jumpy, all right? It's going to sound like, erratic, pitch shifting, jumping around, stuff like that. But is it in key? If it sounds like it's in key, and every note that it jumps to, it sounds like it's in key, and it sounds like it's good in key, write that down. And then you still need to cycle through all of them, because there's probably 2 or 3. You're going to come up with 2 or 3 that sound like it, maybe 4, and you're going to end up coming out with just 2 that sound good. And then it's going to be up to you to choose, do I want to choose a major or minor, and which one will fit the song and stuff like that.